What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Let me say this. Real Housewives of Potomac is not necessarily um super exciting right now. Like, it could be so much better, but I won't complain because at least we get to see some beautiful scenery and the girls dress up real nice. All that BS that's going on over there at Real Housewives of Atlanta. Anyway, let's move forward. This episode, like I said, wasn't that much. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, you guys. And please leave a comment about how you feel about this episode. Who was your favorite this episode? I'd like to know. And I'm going to give my favorite at the end of this review, so stay tuned. This episode 3, season 2, Hold Your Horses. And we're starting with Charrisse because she happens to be the most boring of this episode. Has to have been, hands down, Charrisse. Charrisse basically is converting an office in their home, a pretty big office. I mean, it could be a bedroom. She's converting it to a champagne room. Now, I'm not sure if that means it's going to be like a wine room or a wine closet. Like, is it going to be filled with different champagnes from all around the world? Is it where she's going to stock champagne? Is it going to be champagne colored? Is it going to be all things champagne inside, meaning a champagne theme? Is it going to be like the strip club? There's no sex allowed in there. We don't know. But she's spending $92,000 to build this champagne room, you guys. But she says that even though Eddie isn't working, they have money is not an option because they have invested very, very well. So if you say so, Charrisse, I guess that's what it is. We also see Charrisse a little bit later on in Preakness, but we'll get to that. Then let's move forward. Giselle met up with Robin at Manny Petty Place, and then they did get a chance to talk about some of the things that Karen said, and Giselle mentioned that she was shocked. And Robin pretty much explained it to her. I think she could have done a better job, but we don't know what was left out of the scene. But she basically, Robin told her it wasn't like that, what Karen said. How she felt about what Giselle had said and the lengths that she had gone to say those things about Charrisse. Robin said that she didn't like that. She didn't like that side of her. She didn't want to see that side of her. And it was a bad look for Giselle, which, Giselle said of herself in her confessional as well. She said, I didn't like, hearing it back, seeing it back. I didn't like how that made me look. It wasn't a good look for me. And also, you already know, if you're going to be this girl right here, you finna get iced out. I mean, that's essentially what Robin was saying. Robin was saying, what I need from you is to know you not the kind of chick that's going to be going back and popping off like that. Like I don't need no chick that's going to hit below the belt like that. I don't need that. None of us do. Like, it's friendship 101. And it's the difference in being able to talk very, very casually and very, very calmly and very, very openly with people, and being the kind of person that people now want to call a cold individual. Well, you get labeled as cold when you don't engage, when you don't give people anything to be going back and talking about, especially when you're dealing with people that talk a lot. But I digress. So they kind of resolved that. That was really, really good. And Robin ends up inviting Giselle as well as all the other ladies to Preakness. Preakness is an equestrian event that happens in Baltimore, Maryland every year. Let's go to Robin. We get to see Robin and her boys. And, she's having the same issue that she can't really get them to settle down. They're rambunctious, but they got a lot of mouth. They're not listening right now. She says that when Juan talks to them, they listen. They snap to it. she goes to the beauty parlor and she's getting 4 and 5 phone calls at the beauty parlor about what's going on at home. And she lets us know that essentially that Juan is, a very well taken care of man. She does everything. He's calling her about the grill, the burgers, what to do with the burgers, and how to put them on the grill and all of that. Even the shampoo girl is like, I thought most men are good at the grill. She's like, no, not him. So evidently she's doing all of everything around the house. She complained to Giselle about her boys. She's talking to the lady at the beauty parlor about the boys. Later on, she's talking to the woman that does her hair about not only the kids, but about Juan, and how she's afraid of really going there with Juan in conversation about what her expectations and what it is she wants from him. How the fact that she needs some help from him. And it, to me, it's all very, very clear that your kids don't respect you because your husband don't respect you. But I think Robin is she's in the center of it, so she can't really see. We can see, others can see, her hairdresser, the shampoo girl, Ashley, everybody can see, but Robin, she's a little bit afraid. And also, essentially, in her home, it's 3 against 1. So she's been spending quite a bit of time getting smaller and smaller, personality wise and power wise. She's been spending a lot of time getting smaller and smaller. And so her hairdresser was just trying to tell her some things that she can do to just see if this is something she wants to do. If she wants to continue on with this thing with Juan, and how that they can make it work. If this is something that they both want to do. I don't know. It's the same ambiguous, non-committal answer we've been getting from Robin where Juan is concerned since season 1. And to me, it's very, very frustrating. Later on at Preakness, we get to see Karen, Robin, Giselle, Charrisse, and Ashley. They're all there at Preakness. But before we go there, let's talk about Karen. Storyline is real light this episode. Raven comes home, her daughter Raven, after being gone 30 days to college. And Raven's a beautiful girl. She's joined the sorority. She's doing charity. She's doing her own thing. And it was a little stupid because she said that they did this little shut-in type thing at her college to raise money where they stayed up 48 hours and they had to eat weird things. And she said she just started crying. She ate a cheesesteak and she had never had one before, and it was the nastiest thing she ever had. I was just like, oh, you poor little sheltered girl. It's weird, and yeah, she, was kind of spoiled and brattish. But I mean, she's Karen's daughter. What can you expect? We also see Ashley and Michael, and Ashley and Michael are working really, really hard, I think, to try to make things work. I don't know how it's going to work out. The restaurant isn't doing well. Her relationship with him is suffering because of it. But they go on this hot air flight thing, and that's where you get in this giant tube and you have this air suit on, and this propelled air, this rush of air comes up and sort of lifts you off your feet and you twirl around and all that. It's something I want to do. It's something on my bucket list. But they do that, and it's fun, and they get an opportunity to talk about how she feels about it, how she feels that she doesn't understand accounting, she's not experienced in a whole bunch of different things, and how she doesn't really feel like she can come to him and ask him for help because of how he responds. And she just wants to understand, like, I don't even know how to come to you and ask you to help me because I feel, a certain way about how you view me. And he admitted, it was a good conversation. He admitted that he feels like he takes on the business role and he forgets that she's also his wife and that she needs some help in that area, just to understand a little bit more about business since he is the experienced one. But how to talk to your wife about business without coming across like the boss, and that was cool. He talked about getting back to where they were and getting the happy back, and she agreed. In her confessional, she seemed really sad though. And her confessional, she seemed like she really, really wants to make it work with her husband, and she's sad that it's not. And looking at him, I think she really does love this guy because looking at him, he doesn't really appear to be holding up very well. To me, he seems a lot different than he did first season. He seemed a little bit more fit, a little bit more attractive. This season, he he seems a little weather beaten. He's all beat red in the face and horrible bags under his eyes. This restaurant thing is a lot bigger than what they're talking about. So I want to see how this all plays out. The look on his face looks like a man who was up all night, honestly. So we all get to Preakness, and Robin and Ashley are there first. They get to converse about what's going on with Robin and Juan, and of course Ashley asks her about it, and Robin gives the same answer she always gives, and in her confessional she wants Ashley to mind her business. At the same time, um, it's just it's clear that Robin wants something more. She has a desire for something more. I think she wants to see if she can make it work with Juan. She just don't want to get hurt again. She really want to wait around for him to say, will you be with me, and this is what I'm going to do to be with you. I think that's what she waiting on. But I think she's going to be waiting for a while. Anyway, she doesn't really want to talk about it with Ashley, but Ashley seemed like a real friend in the conversation. So at some point, Robin is going to have to let down her guard and stop acting like Phaedra and acting like she's beyond all problems and concerns, and trust somebody with the conversation. I think this might be the reason why she's got a real problem with what Giselle did, because some of the stuff she wants to talk to Giselle about, or probably has talked to Giselle about, is stuff she don't want to hear again. Okay, so then we see Giselle and Karen come, and everybody looks really pretty. Everybody looks very, very well pulled together. I do think that Charrisse needs a little bit more polishing. I just think Charrisse could use a little bit. Anyway, so that hat that she had on wasn't fitting her very well. Her makeup is never really Charrisse needs a little bit more polishing, in my opinion. Monique was not there because Monique is in Alabama now. We see twice, once at the Mani Petty spot and here at Preakness, where Giselle has brought up Monique and talked behind Monique back. She lied at the beauty shop, at the Mani Petty spot, telling Robin that the girl just spit the bars for no reason, but you the one said let's hear the bars. Okay, then we out at Preakness, and you trying to get co-signers on dogging out Monique. And Ashley said it best. You got a problem with how young that girl is, and you got a problem with the fact that girl got money. You got a problem with that, and a happy marriage. You have an issue with that, I think. And Ashley obviously believes it too. So that was Preakness, you guys. They met a young white man, and apparently, he's worth quite a bit of money. He was supposed to show them how to bet. He ended up funding their bet, which they won. He got his money that he invested in it back, in the difference they supposed to have split amongst themselves. I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like. I didn't like the way as women, Karen and Giselle especially was kind of fawning all over the cat because he had money. And I'm just like, how you got money? How you come for money, but you in awe of money? It's weird. It's weird. I just feel like you need to play it cool with people. Don't be that obvious with people. Don't be that thirsty and that hungry. Y'all made it seem like this man walked in on water just because he said he had a little bit of money. It was not becoming. Anyway, they won. That was Preakness. That's it. Now, let's talk about our final lady, which is Monique. Monique, we got to see her in her home with her children. She seems like a very hands on, fun loving mom. She was there with her girlfriend Gigi, and they were packing and getting themselves ready as a family to go down to Alabama, where Chris was being honored by the Alabama Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame. Everybody's super excited. Now, she does mention to her friend Gigi while she's folding up clothes that she met the girls, and one of them gave her a hard time, Giselle, and she knows Charrisse married to Eddie, and oh, Gigi was like, oh, I know Eddie. And after that she was just like, oh, not on camera. So she didn't say anything else about the subject matter. So I'm trying to figure out what more is going on with that situation. I know people are Googling it presently to get all the tea, but it'll come out. Eventually it will come out in the show. I'm almost positive of it. So they breeze on past that. Then we see them down in Alabama, and Monique is driving. And, they kind of have this conversation about Chris's mom, but not really. Gigi really talked a little bit more about it with Monique than Chris did, in that Monique is a little bit nervous about seeing Chris's mom, because although they were close, something shifted where Chris's mom likes to come for her like on a regular basis. Like, she is not a super cordial individual, especially when it comes, she's passive aggressive when it comes to Monique. And Chris and Monique kind of talk about it in the car a little bit, and she tells him that, because he loves them, she loves them. And he says, exactly, when I married you, I married your family. She was like, no, I don't know about you marrying my family, which it was an awkward moment. Basically, she wanted to tell him that when she married him, she put him first. It's God, Chris, and then her children. Chris come before everybody else, including her family, and she's not going to let anybody in her family have anything to say about Chris. And that was really her passive aggressive way of letting Chris know that she feels like he should check his mom about the way the mom come for her. Chris is not about to do that. I can look at him and tell that he not about that life. Instead, I think he wants her to make some modifications, and I think she could make those modifications and keep the peace with everybody. Now, should she? Is it fair? It just depends. If you want your man to come first, that's something you'll do, right? But Chris' mom is obviously jealous. She made a comment that she hasn't seen the baby since he was a little boy. And Monique is like, you see them every holiday. What do you mean you haven't seen the baby since you were a little boy? She didn't say it out loud, but she was just like, this the kind of stuff she do, trying to make it seem like, I guess, Chris and Monique keeping the kids from her. Then the mom had something to say about thanking the guy. Thank you so much for all of this, and this doing all of this for us, and setting it out for us. And Monique was like, again, it's not about you. Then later on, when they were at dinner, there were two dudes on either side of the mom, and Monique is talking. She's clearly a talker. She clearly loves to discuss things. I think maybe she should probably keep to herself, like what go on in a marriage and how it. Chris' mom don't have a whole lot going on, and I think she's jealous, and I think she is jealous of Monique's marriage. I think she's jealous of the fact that Monique doesn't really have to work. I think she's jealous of Monique's things and the fact that she married a man that has a bit of affluence. I think Chris's mom is definitely jealous of that. I also think likewise that Monique is doesn't have a lot going on. I mean, she has an assistant, but anybody that talks that much is a person that is not talking regularly to adults, who is not engaging in regular conversation, engaging conversation where they feel heard and equal in the conversation. She talks way too much. And the way she talks is a little bit braggy. Which leads me to believe you with children all day, girl. You ain't talking to a whole bunch of people. That is my opinion. That or you just talk too much. You just flat out the kind of person that talk too much. I don't know. But when Chris' mom tried to tell her what to do and how to be in a marriage, I think it would have been more appropriate for Monique to say, okay, I received that, thank you, and move on. But instead, you want to go word for word, toe to toe with her. And that's never going to work because she's the mama. Never going to work. Got to find a way to navigate around this woman. But in Monique's defense, I see it. Chris's mom is a little bit much. So that's it for Housewives of Potomac. You guys, like I said, it wasn't this super huge episode. It wasn't terribly exciting. But hopefully next week we'll make up for that. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up for this video. And let me know who your favorite was for this episode. For me, the favorite of this episode has to be Ashley. I think Ashley getting Giselle together with regards to how she was treating Monique was everything. I think Ashley being real clear about Robin and what was going on, how she felt about that was really good and very mature. And also her being able to express to her husband what it is she needs from him, I think was humongous in the way of communication. So I'm giving Ashley the Star Award for this episode. That's it for me, guys. Let me know who your favorite was down below. Until next time, honeybees, I'll holla.